Hey there guys, so in the last anime episode, we saw Crescent honestly told his superior that Zenos did all the work on the monster extermination job. So Goldran decided to see if Zenos was good enough to join his faction. Luckily Zenos passed his test and got in, and there he learned Goldran uses a kind of transferring magic to heal patients. In easy words, taking life force from others for healing. Then he digs around more to find out about Alfred who vanished. Crescent knew about that guy. Apparently, he was so bright even Goldran appreciated him and invited him to dinner parties, and after that he vanished. Goldran often throws these parties, so now Zenos has to infiltrate this. Then later that day, Crescent came to Zenos crying his eyes out, so now, as the story continues, Goldran was apparently in a lunch meeting with a big-shot noble from the kingdom to gain his support. But the noble asked Goldran to examine his daughter, who had a growing rash on her face. Goldran guessed it might be a disease called odd face, which isn't life-threatening. But it can take root deeply, and without surgery, it's impossible to cure. Well, he could do it with enough donors for his health transfer, but Farrell said his daughter wouldn't let many people see her face. It was such trouble, so Goldran decided to spend time with his puppy to relax, but on his way, he stumbled upon his secretary, who told him his dog got into an accident. But it's fine, as his dog sitter patched it up, leaving no scar behind. Goldran double-checked with his assistant, and it was true, and that's why Goldran asked Crescent to heal the odd face disease. Crescent knew he couldn't heal someone without leaving a scar, because that's impossible, but Zenos saw no problem in it, and Ermin was puzzled why Goldran asked specifically for Crescent. So he told them what happened with Goldran's dog, and he took the credit for it, so he can't confess it wasn't him or else he'll be kicked out of the faction. Their Lily comes with tea. She was acting like Zenos' little sister to stay here, yet still she was getting closer to him to the point of being misunderstood. Well anyways, Goldran was summoned by Farrell to his residence because the situation got more serious. His daughter refused the surgery and locked herself up in her room. So he pinned his hope onto Goldran to convince her. Goldran had no option, and Farrell again tried to convince her in front of them, but Charlotte was still refusing the surgery. Charlotte was convinced her rivals had hired them to mess up her face, so Crescent got the idea that if he convinces her and heals her up with Zenos, she might fall for him. So with that hope, Crescent tried his luck, but Charlotte downright insulted the guy and crushed his dream. So that only leaves Zenos, so he came forward to talk. But unlike others, he totally supported Charlotte. If she doesn't want, she doesn't need to, but if left alone it will alter her face, that's for sure. That finally got the lady to talk at least. Crescent then tried to take the lead, but Charlotte shuts him up, and Goldran vouched that they have to do surgery to fix that odd face, but Charlotte was scared of having a scar on her face. Farrell tried to convince her to at least put a little bit of trust in the professor, but Charlotte ran off, so Zenos came to her to talk. She had many birds, but one of them was injured. She found it in her garden. Poor thing can't fly just like her, so Zenos asked if she wants to be cured. And Charlotte said who doesn't. She desperately wants to, and Zenos promised to make her better. For him, she's a patient, and he showed he has skills to make her better just like he did with the little bird, so that she could fly too someday. That finally got her to agree with the operation, so Farrell left them in their care. But Goldran dumps all the hard work on Zenos and Crescent. Crescent most definitely can operate, but Zenos told him to follow his instructions because he'll take care of the important stuff. But Goldran wants Crescent to do the job since he was the one who healed his dog. Now that became a huge mess, so Zenos told him to just go on just like he tells him to. With that in mind, Crescent had to start because Goldran was pushing him over. He remembers where the critical parts of Odd Face are rooted start. But Zenos did a quick scan on Charlotte to find the rooted part. Many times the rooted areas are different from the ones mentioned in textbooks. That's why Zenos did the scan and Crescent started to operate according to that. Goldran was impressed by it, but Crescent found the roots are entangled with her nerves, so they can't cut them up. If they do, nerves will be cut too, and without it the odd face will come back again. That was a major hurdle at this time, so Goldran orders to cut up. It will alter her appearance a bit, but Goldran doesn't want this to harm his reputation. But then he forcefully made Crescent cut the wrong part to put all the blame onto him. Farrell heard the voice and Goldran told him how his assistant messed up, and now they have to transfer Charlotte to the hospital now. But Zenos said it won't be a problem. They have no need to worry because she'll be fine, and they don't even have to go to the hospital. Charlotte had put her trust in them that she'll be able to fly again one day. So Zenos didn't want to crush her hope she put on them. That's why he took over from there on and did the miracle. Then, after a while, Charlotte woke up and took a look at her face. The odd face was gone, and there was no scar left behind, and still they thought it was Goldran who fixed her up. That's why Farrell decided to give his full support to Goldran in his run for director of the hospital. But Charlotte was taken in by Zenos. She didn't know his name, so a servant told her that. So now Zenos got another lady coming after him, and unaware of that, he was helping out Ermin to store some medicines in the storage room. Their Becker came to them to see his goods being taken care of, but then he asked about the surgery, but Crescent showed up with the news that Zenos is invited to Goldran's dinner party with him. So now Zenos is one step closer to his investigation. And right there, our episode 10 comes to an end, so stay tuned to watch the next episode, and for that, subscribe the channel, and hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Till then, take care.